Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the best mods of the week in Baldur's Gate 3's Mod Manager plus Nexus mods. For a brief overview of what to expect today, we got a mod that adds Aylin and Isobel to the party as companions. We also have a mod that lets you fly throughout the world, some new weapons and some iconic ones at that, as well as new cosmetic head mods, and even some outfits resembling like New York style. Honestly, some pretty cool stuff this week, but I'm just going to dive right in here with the Aylin and Isobel Join the Party mod by World Walker 42. This adds them as actual companions into the game. This adds in new dialogue options as party members and they react to the story a bit more. And if they've already left your camp in Act 3, you can go and grab this letter here from the mailbox, which will have instructions on what to do. This is still an early release, so they are working on more things with plans to later add them to the epilogue and a bit more reactions out of everything. But it's repurposing a lot of the stuff from the base game, and there's no AI that was used in this. Here's a long list of all the new additions that have been added to this. I may do a separate video breaking this down just because there is so much going on with this. And this mod does work with some other mods that do impact Isobel and Aylin here. So unfortunately, very short on time today. Otherwise, I do a more in-depth feature of this, but I will be covering this in a future video. But next up, we got the flight mod by Kuranai, which adds in the ability to actually just fly throughout the world. So you'll get this new spell, which is called Fly there, and your character will go through this flying animation. You will get some other things like the glide here, which lets you glide to a location. So you can see that there, you have your whole team fly around. You can ascend or descend. So if you want to have things up a little bit higher, we just clip through the roof here. Oh cool, there's some stuff above the Elf Song Tavern. But if you're in an area with an overhead here, you can use this to ascend up a little bit. Oh, it just sent me back to here. I'm not sure what I did there, but you should be able to use the ascend there to fly up into the sky. For some reason, it's teleported me back to my camp. And a quick word of warning, don't try to ascend multiple times. If it doesn't end up working, it will end up crashing. So just a heads up on that. But oh no. Yeah, don't double press any of the buttons there, just let them do their thing. So yeah, just be mindful not to double press any of the abilities here, like don't double press a fly and it should work smoothly. That is the flight mod by Kuranai. Following up with their other mod, the Kuranai Kage Crimson Shadow Katana. Adding in this new weapon to the game here, when you critically hit, your target is covered in a shadowy cloud and frightened for 2 turns, once per short rest. You also get the Devil's Sight, allowing you to see in magical darkness up to 24 meters. Has a +3 enhancement. And it's a really nice looking katana style weapon there. So yeah, that is the Kuranai Kage by Kuranai. Next up, we got a Link to the Past Comic Master Sword by Skirby. This adds in a 2-handed or 1-handed version of the Master Sword here. When you strike an enemy, they take an additional 8 to 48 lightning on a failed dexterity saving throw. You possibly inflict Bane, you ignore resistances to slashing damage, cannot be frightened, and you get a few different weapon abilities here, like the Strike with Thunder, the Chain Lightning, you also get Disarming Zap, also things like the Whirling Blade, Lacerate, and other style attacks. So yeah, this is a really nice style weapon, loosely like Legend of Zelda there, love that game, and this is a really cool new weapon. So thank you, Skirby, for this one. And next we have the Elven Head Pack by Manuli Paroni here. Adding in 11 new heads I'll take you guys through here. So there's a Saria head. There's also alt versions for some of these that give the lower ear appearance. We're using them like obviously on like a half elf here. We also got the Moira alt, Alina, Faye, and also the Willa. There's a Willa alt as well. Nerith, Irene, and Irene's alt. So these are really nice heads. I've been using the Manuli Paroni new heads that they released and I'm a big fan of them. So yeah, the Elven Head Pack, go check it out on Mod.io, also Nexus. Next we have the Catch Me If You Can Autumn in New York mod by Dramatic Chipmunk. This adds in some new outfits like you see on Shadowheart here, and this outfit that is on Gale. So with these, you get a pack here with 19 different or 20 different items in it. So there's things like the Captain shirt. Some of them are for body types 1 or 2 here. So for example, here's the Captain outfit on Shadowheart, and there are also things like gloves and hats that you can add to this as well. So really cute. I like this. It's very reminiscent of olden like 1950s style outfits. And I gotta say, they look really nice. So there's some shots using this. Yeah, very snazzy. That's the Catch Me If You Can Autumn in New York. Next up, we got the Losiir Origin mod here by Cobalt Cactus. So this is a character that you can encounter in the game if you play as Lae'zel. This character would take Lae'zel's place. So this now lets you play as them, and I think that is actually really cool. They come as a soldier background, and their appearance is locked unless you're using other mods that allow you to change that. Next up we have the Naerys Vanitas Armor and Clothing, Camp Clothing by Naerys here. Now, this adds in a really nice outfit here, and the great thing about it is it's got different body types supported. So if you want to put it on like a Minsk, for example, or on your own character here, you got full choice. And I gotta say, this is a really nice looking outfit. Here are some other shots of this mod. Yeah, it is beautiful stuff. So it comes in a chest there, the Vanitas chest, and then you got your options there. Gives advantage on saving throws while you're obscured, +1 to stealth, and it's a light clothing with 12 armor class. It also has the boots with the Misty Step that teleports you, but ends up dropping the clothing, kind of similar to the one you get in Act 3. And next up, we got the Vampire Spawn Transformation by Revolution Scribe. So if you actually end up turning yourself into a vampire, it's going to give your character vampiric teeth and eyes. So this is what it looks like beforehand, and that's what it looks like afterward. Now, half-orcs, tieflings, and dragonborns already have spiky teeth, so for everyone else, it will end up giving them that, but otherwise, it will change their eye color to red. Pretty cool stuff for vampire enjoyers out there. Next, we have the Martial Prowess by Creative Excuses. This is really cool because it changes things for multi-classing, similar to how like a half-caster and a caster work. Now, with martial classes, they get different benefits depending on it. So for example, if you're playing as a full martial like a barbarian, fighter, monk, paladin, or ranger, you get +1 armor class at level 2, extra attack at level 5, +1 weapon damage at level 8, and +1 weapon attack roll at level 11. However, if you're playing a half martial, which includes Assassin Rogue, College of Sword Bard, and College of Valor Bard, you'll then get that +1 armor class at level 3, and extra attack at level 9. And if you're playing like a third martial, like Blade Singing Wizard, Circle of Spores Druid, Death Domain Cleric, Tempest Domain Cleric, and War Domain, you'll get a +1 armor class at level 4, and the extra attack at level 10. This removes like the defense fighting style and adds that +1 armor class directly into the class. This does bring down the power level of things like the College of Sword and Valor Bard, which they usually get their extra attack at level 6. Now they get at level 9, so it delays that. They also said they wish they could be half caster. That's outside the scope of this mod. Maybe we'll see something like that down the future. This is really cool though for like the Death, Tempest, and War Domain Clerics. They do give a little bit of a buff there, as well as the Circle of Spores Druid, as they do have some melee focused abilities. And this is also a buff to like the Assassin Rogue, because there's no real point taking them past like level 3, so at now level 9 they do get that extra attack there, so that is really nice, still allowing you to be even more powerful with like the Gloomstalker multiclass. So pretty cool stuff. It will end up probably coming to the chocolate edition at some point just to provide some new flexibility, but definitely a cool mod. Next up, we have the Forsaken Shard Forgotten Armory Part 1 by Revolution Scribe. This adds in a new sword to the game in Act 2. You can't get it any other way. It has to be through Act 2, and it also comes with a summon here that comes alongside it. So this is what the weapon has. So it does the necrotic and radiant damage in addition, and also allows you to summon the Echo Fighter there. Here are the stats of the Echo Fighter and the different abilities. You get things like a Wrathful Smite there using the same sword. And this is in the Shadowfell after Act 2. The item will be just right up there, so you can find it in the diary for it. So really cool mod. And yeah, this is one that you will have to go and hunt down yourself, but it feels very thematic. Next up, we got the LeBlanc League of Legends Class Mod. Now, again, I don't really play League of Legends. I have a lot of friends that do, and I think this is pretty interesting because they do. I actually ran this by one of my friends that's big into League, and their class mods do a really great job of emulating what they are in the actual game. This mod here by Broth can create a copy of themselves to throw off a target while they're fighting. And whenever the mirror image is summoned, whenever it's damaged to 50% maximum health or left, LeBlanc creates a clone of herself to distract enemies. So this allows them to get away, so they're like a magic teleporting assassin. You get a few different choices, so like the Sigil of Malice dealing force damage, Distortion here, which also does force damage, teleport, and Ethereal Chains, which allows you to summon magical chains to bind a target dealing damage. They also come with their own staff and robe, and they continue to get new abilities as you level up. Definitely recommend checking out their mods if you're a fan of League of Legends. Next up, we got 20 Shades of Blue die collection here by Barry Semifreddo. So with this, you get a basket full of these dyes, and I'm a big fan of the color blue, it's my favorite color, so it's nice to have many more options to dye up your outfits, and this is what it looks like here. So I'll just go through some of theirs on the Robe of the Weave to give you an idea of what that looks like on like base game items. Electric Indigo is very bright and vibrant, I love it, so really nice. If you like the color blue, this is a mod to check out for sure. And we also got the Axi Dyes here by Axiana, which adds in a bunch more dyes here, so here's an idea of what these all look like, and there are 40 different dyes included with this here, so you got a lot of different options for colors, some really nice themed names, a lot of Seraphina blues here, so it's a great week for blue fans out there, and you can see what these all look like here. So again, if you're looking for more dyes, it's always nice to have more options, and this is what they all look like. Yeah, some great stuff here by Axiana. And the last mod IO mod we got by Chloe 1 here is the Ketheric Thorm's new look. So following up with some of the other redesigns here, this gives Ketheric a much different appearance, which I think is really cool. Again, if you've played this game hundreds of times, it's nice to see things a little bit differently. Again, almost like the Baldur's Gate 3 multiverse. I gotta say, he looks really cool with the beard. It's very daunting. And now moving on to Nexus mods, we're going to follow up with another Chloe 1 mod here with the Duke Ravengard's new look, which adds in another new appearance for the Duke Ravengard. So again, same concept there if you're just looking for something a little different. I really like this redesign. It looks very well done and feels thematic to Baldur's Gate 3, honestly. Yeah, so that is that there. Comes with a new portrait as well, so there's the appearance in all its glory. Also wearing an outfit somewhat similar to Will's outfit. So cool. So yeah, Duke Ravengard's new look. Next up, we got the Nearby Loot Scan mod here by Eolalo. So what this does is similar to what happens if you're playing on console. You can actually ping an area and have all the loot pop up in an area. There are other mods that let you just grab everything in an area of effect, but I think this is much better because it feels like you're actually still playing the game. You can also allows you to find story items in this mod. It also has the mod configuration menu to help trigger or change this. You can also auto loot and things like that with this, so it automatically will detect. You can smart filter out junk and things like that, fully configurable. But I think it's really nice, especially for loot goblins out there like myself. So yeah, this is definitely worth checking out. Next up, we got the Lesson Learned animation fix for Gale's Magic Lesson by Hyperspace Towel. So what this one does is during like the, whenever you do the spell casting animation, different classes will have better animations for doing so. So whenever you go to copy his movements there, it won't look like this. It'll look much more proper. So yeah, this is just for one specific cutscene with Gale. It's probably the cutscene that most people get most often with his romance there. So this just makes you look less like this. Next, we have Arcadia's Attire here by Elven. So this adds in a new outfit here. This one looks very thematic to be in Baldur's Gate 3. So there's a camp version and your adventuring version here. It looks really nice, I gotta say. So definitely worth checking it out if you're looking for a new outfit to add to your adventures. And finally, we have the Head VFX Universal Automatic Patcher here by Volatio. This is really cool because it'll automatically patch cinematic head VFX for modded heads without needing any manual compatibility override mods. All you got to do with this is just add it to your game and it'll work. So without the head, custom heads can miss cinematic head targeted VFX to those timeline material groups they reference. They were not explicitly made for, so like a vanilla head it was made for, modded heads not typically. So yeah, this will work properly with all different modded heads, so they will look proper as you go through different cutscenes and have the VFX appear. So yeah, another great week of mods in Baldur's Gate 3. Unfortunately, I'm not able to link any mods to these in the description anymore, and the future of these videos is kind of at stake here. So hopefully everything will end up working out fine, but yeah, unfortunately cannot link mods in the description for these videos anymore. Just there's some issues happening. I'm very sorry for that, but the channel's kind of in a rough shape right now. But you can find all those mods by searching them up on either Mod.io or Nexus. That's why I just like put Mod.io the first. You can search those up in the in-game mod manager, search up by name on Nexus mods to be able to find these mods yourself. So yeah, have yourself a great day. We'll catch you in the next one and have a good day.